4 nuts that harm your brain, and 4 nuts that protect your brain from dementia. It is a common experience, perhaps even a silent fear for many, to look in the mirror and notice a subtle shift in one's cognitive abilities, even when making conscious efforts to eat well. This feeling of a mind not as sharp as it once was, where names seem to slip away more easily, thoughts feel a bit slower to form, and mental clarity appears to fade like sand through cupped hands, is a reality that many people over the age of 60 carry with them. However, a significant truth, one that may come as a surprise, is that what you are experiencing is not simply an inevitable consequence of aging. It is not something that must be passively accepted simply because you have reached your 60s, 70s, or beyond. The reality is that you may be facing something far more specific and potentially far more dangerous: silent brain inflammation, often driven by the very foods we consume, including some that we have been led to believe are healthy for years. As a medical professional, this pervasive issue is of profound concern to me. It is not the occasional indulgence that causes the most worry, but rather the daily consumption of certain foods, where individuals believe they are actively safeguarding their brain, when in fact, they may be inadvertently causing gradual damage. My name is Dr. Charles, and for over 2 decades, my focus has been on working with older adults, dedicating my efforts to preserving memory, maintaining mental clarity, and ensuring their independence. Throughout my extensive career, I have observed a consistent and undeniable pattern. The right foods possess the remarkable ability to protect the brain for many years, while the wrong ones, when consumed in specific ways after the age of 60, can quietly accelerate cognitive decline, potentially paving the way for more serious conditions such as dementia and Alzheimer's disease. There exists a paradox that often goes unnoticed by many. Certain nuts and dried fruits, specifically 4 types, act as veritable medicine for the brain. They are instrumental in protecting neurons, significantly reducing inflammation, and supporting memory at a fundamental biological level. Conversely, there are 4 other types of nuts, incredibly common and widely promoted as healthy choices, likely residing in countless kitchens at this very moment, that can exert the exact opposite effect. These particular nuts can lead to elevated blood sugar levels, inflame the nervous system, and place an undue strain on an aging brain. In this discussion, we will delve into all 8 of these crucial food items, identifying the 4 that can actively contribute to brain protection and the 4 that warrant serious reconsideration if you are concerned about your memory and cognitive well-being. Everything I will share is grounded in solid clinical evidence and informed by years of practical experience with patients who have faced these challenges. I strongly encourage you to remain engaged until the very end of this discussion, as the nut that poses the most significant danger is one that is least suspected by most, and it is highly probable that it is already present in your home. Before we proceed further, I would like to pose a simple question. If this opening message has resonated with you and prompted you to reflect, please type the number 1 in the comment section below. If you disagree with any aspect of this message, please type 0 and elaborate on your reasoning. Your feedback is invaluable in fostering the growth and strengthening of this community. Now let us begin our exploration with the first brain protective nut, one that is frequently underestimated, yet its power is truly extraordinary: the Brazil nut. A few years ago, a 65-year-old retired teacher, Antonio, sought my professional guidance. He wasn't presenting with physical ailments or pain, but rather with a profound sense of fear. He confided in me, "Doctor, I feel as though I am losing myself. I am forgetting names, dates, and simple things that once came to me effortlessly." Antonio had explored various avenues, engaging in puzzles, memory games, and even trying expensive supplements, but regrettably, none of these interventions yielded any discernible improvement. Instead, the mental fog seemed to intensify. Following comprehensive diagnostic tests, one particular finding stood out with striking clarity. His selenium levels were dangerously low. Selenium is a trace mineral that is often overlooked in common discourse, yet it plays an absolutely critical role in maintaining brain health. Rather than prescribing conventional medication, I offered Antonio a straightforward piece of advice: consume one Brazil nut per day, and no more, no less. A mere 3 weeks later, Antonio returned for a follow-up appointment. His demeanor had transformed, his face appeared brighter, more animated, and he conveyed that the pervasive fog had dissipated and his focus had returned. This remarkable turnaround is not a mere coincidence. Brazil nuts stand as the most abundant natural source of selenium on the planet. Astonishingly, a single Brazil nut can supply more than 100% of your daily selenium requirement. Furthermore, the selenium derived from whole foods is absorbed by the body with far greater efficiency compared to synthetic supplements. You might wonder why this is particularly significant after the age of 60. The reason is that selenium functions as a potent internal shield for the brain. It actively protects neurons from oxidative damage, which is a primary underlying cause of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Beyond this, it plays a crucial role in supporting the production of glutathione, which is widely recognized as the body's master antioxidant. In its absence, the brain can become overwhelmed by toxic waste products, leading to a marked acceleration of cognitive decline. However, it is imperative to issue a word of caution. More is not necessarily better when it comes to selenium. Excessive intake can be detrimental. This is precisely why my recommendation is very specific: one Brazil nut daily. It should be approached as a natural form of medicine rather than simply a snack. And if a single nut can provide such a profound level of brain protection, one can only imagine the synergistic effects when it is combined with the next brain guardian I am about to introduce. This next nut bears a striking resemblance to the very organ it is designed to protect, and yet it is often overlooked by many who fail to grasp its true value: the walnut. If you have ever held a walnut in your hand and examined it closely, you have likely noticed something truly fascinating. Its shape uncannily mirrors that of the human brain, complete with two hemispheres and intricate folds. This is not merely a whimsical, poetic parallel. Walnuts are exceptionally rich in plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, polyphenols, and vitamin E. All of these nutrients are absolutely essential for maintaining robust neural connections as we age. Following the age of 60, the communication pathways between brain cells begin to slow down, leading to a decrease in reaction time and making word recall a more frustrating experience. Walnuts play a vital role in safeguarding these neural pathways by actively reducing inflammation and oxidative stress within the brain. Numerous scientific studies have consistently demonstrated that individuals who regularly incorporate walnuts into their diet maintain superior cognitive performance over time. My recommendation for walnut consumption is straightforward: a small handful per day, comprising approximately 7 to 8 halves. These can be consumed raw or lightly toasted. It is crucial to avoid walnuts that have been sweetened or excessively salted. The act of eating walnuts should be a slow and mindful one. When you consume a walnut, you are not merely eating food. You are making a direct investment in your future cognitive clarity. However, our journey into understanding brain-boosting foods does not conclude here. The subsequent brain protective nut addresses one of the most frequently underestimated threats to memory after the age of 60: unstable blood sugar. And it is precisely at this critical juncture that we will continue our exploration. Let us now proceed to discuss the next brain protective nut, which specifically targets one of the most underestimated adversaries of memory, particularly after the age of 60: unstable blood sugar. Modern medical science has even assigned a rather alarming moniker to this issue. Many researchers now refer to Alzheimer's disease as type 3 diabetes. The underlying reason for this classification is that chronic spikes in blood glucose levels can inflict silent damage on neurons long before any noticeable memory loss becomes apparent. This is where the almond emerges as a truly invaluable ally. In my clinical practice, when an older patient expresses concerns about brain fog, confusion, or difficulty concentrating, one of the initial aspects I meticulously assess is their blood sugar regulation. It is important to understand that even mild insulin resistance can progressively inflame the brain. Almonds possess a unique and powerful capacity to counteract these effects. They are exceptionally rich in fiber, healthy fats, magnesium, and vitamin E, a synergistic combination that effectively slows the absorption of sugar and ensures a steady delivery of energy to brain cells. When glucose levels rise too rapidly, it can leave behind inflammatory scars within the brain. Almonds function as a natural braking system, preventing these detrimental spikes, protecting the delicate blood vessels that supply nourishment to the brain, and supporting consistent cognitive function throughout the entire day. Furthermore, almonds are remarkably effective in calming the nervous system. If you experience feelings of anxiety, restlessness, or have difficulty sleeping, your brain might be silently signaling a need for magnesium. My recommendation for almond consumption is between 15 to 20 almonds per day, preferably consumed raw or soaked overnight to facilitate easier digestion. This seemingly small dietary adjustment can significantly mitigate the metabolic stress that is known to accelerate cognitive aging. And now we arrive at the fourth and final brain protective nut, a food that addresses a fundamental aspect of memory so essential that no supplement in the world can ever truly replace it: sleep. Without deep restorative sleep, the brain is unable to effectively repair itself, it cannot cleanse itself of waste products, and it cannot consolidate and preserve memories. This is precisely where the pistachio plays a remarkable and often overlooked role. Allow me to recount the case of Sophia, a 74-year-old patient who presented to me feeling utterly exhausted and deeply fearful. Months of persistently poor sleep had left her mentally foggy and emotionally depleted. In tears, she asked if this was the initial manifestation of dementia. I explained to her that chronic sleep deprivation can indeed mimic the symptoms of cognitive decline, primarily because the brain never gets to enter its crucial nightly repair phase. I suggested a single, simple dietary change: a handful of pistachios in the evening. Astonishingly, within 2 weeks, Sophia contacted me with a steady, clear voice, reporting that she was sleeping soundly again and that her mental clarity had returned. Pistachios are one of the rare natural foods that contain melatonin, the vital hormone responsible for regulating sleep cycles. As we age, our body's natural production of melatonin tends to decline. Pistachios offer a gentle and natural way to support this process, circumventing the potential risks associated with pharmaceutical sleeping pills. And here's why deep sleep is so critically important. During these profound sleep stages, the brain activates its glymphatic system, a sophisticated waste removal process. This system is responsible for clearing out toxic proteins, including beta amyloid, which has been strongly implicated in the development of Alzheimer's disease. Without sufficient deep sleep, these harmful proteins accumulate silently, progressively damaging memory over time. My advice regarding pistachios is simple: consume approximately 30 unsalted pistachios about 1 hour before bedtime. Make this a consistent ritual. You are not merely snacking, you are actively inviting your brain to engage in its vital healing processes overnight. Now that we have gained a comprehensive understanding of the 4 nuts that actively protect the brain, it is imperative that we address the 4 nuts that, after the age of 60, may inadvertently cause harm. This segment, while potentially uncomfortable, is nonetheless essential for a complete picture of cognitive health. Let us commence with the peanut. Despite its widespread popularity, it is crucial to recognize that peanuts are not botanically classified as true nuts. They are legumes that grow underground. This subterranean growth habit makes them highly susceptible to mold contamination, including the presence of aflatoxins. These toxins are insidious, They are invisible, odorless, and extremely dangerous, particularly for the aging brain and liver. In older adults, whose detoxification systems may operate at a slower pace, exposure to these toxins can significantly exacerbate neurological stress. Furthermore, peanuts are exceptionally high in omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6s are essential, modern diets often contain an overwhelming excess of them, and this imbalance promotes inflammation throughout the body, including the brain. Consuming peanuts daily in such a context is akin to adding fuel to an already raging fire of brain inflammation. I have personally witnessed patients experience a marked improvement in their cognitive clarity simply by eliminating peanuts and peanut butter from their diet. Next on our list is the cashew. Cashews are frequently perceived as a healthy snack option, but after the age of 60, they can behave more like refined carbohydrates in the body. They are relatively high in carbohydrates and, critically, low in protective fiber. This combination can lead to rapid spikes in blood sugar, followed by sharp crashes, which in turn trigger feelings of confusion and fatigue. Over time, these cyclical glucose fluctuations can inflict damage on the delicate blood vessels that are responsible for nourishing the brain. Many patients express surprise when their mental clarity significantly improves simply by discontinuing their daily consumption of cashews. This is not a mere coincidence. It is a direct consequence of biological processes. Following this, we encounter the macadamia nut. While macadamia nuts are not inherently toxic, they are exceptionally high in fat and calorie content. In older adults, whose digestive systems may be slower, consuming macadamias can place a considerable strain on the digestive system, contribute to weight gain, and exacerbate existing inflammation. It is a well-established fact that excess body fat is one of the most potent accelerators of cognitive decline. Additionally, macadamia nuts have the potential to aggravate gallbladder issues, which are far more prevalent after the age of 60 than many individuals realize. Finally, we must turn our attention to the pine nut. Pine nuts can trigger a rather unpleasant condition known as pine mouth syndrome, which manifests as a persistent metallic taste in the mouth that can linger for weeks. In older adults, this disruption to their sense of taste can lead to a diminished appetite and consequently dehydration. Both of these factors can dramatically increase the risk of weakness, confusion, and hospitalization. Proper nutrition is intrinsically linked to taste. When the sense of taste is compromised, the entire physiological system can suffer. Therefore, it is crucial to internalize this fundamental principle. Your brain does not require sheer quantity, it thrives on precision. Brazil nuts, walnuts, almonds, and pistachios should not be viewed merely as snacks. They are potent tools for cognitive preservation. Peanuts, cashews, macadamia nuts, and pine nuts are not inherently evil, but after the age of 60, they demand a significant degree of caution and restraint. Cognitive health is not built in a single day. It is meticulously constructed through conscious decisions made bite by bite. You do not lose your memory overnight. You either actively protect it on a daily basis, or you incrementally surrender it. If the information presented here has provided you with newfound clarity, I kindly request that you express your appreciation by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. More importantly, please consider sharing this vital information with someone you care about. A single, informed decision made today could profoundly protect their memory, their independence, and their dignity tomorrow. This is Dr. Charles Bennett, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video, where we will continue our mission of safeguarding your most invaluable asset, your cognitive well-being.